Hi everybody, it's MC from Not Just Scrapbooks, and I am here with a project that I finished just a little while ago. And let me see if I can take you through everything I did. It was a regular box that you can get at Hobby Lobby, the one that is just wood inside. And I altered it. I put graphic 45 feet on it. I used the graphic 45 Once Upon a Springtime collection paper to decorate it. And well, uh, let's just take a quick look. The picture and uh, they're nightingales, I think, um, come from online Etsy shop where I bought the graphic and I printed it on regular copy paper because I didn't want it to be too thick. And then I cut it out and I pasted it onto the box after I had already painted it, gave it quite a few coats, and I eventually also crackled it. So you can see that there's a lot of coats of paint here. I think I started off by gessoing the whole thing. And once I had put a few of the coats of paint on, then I adhered my nightingales, and then I used some modeling paste over here with a stencil. I believe it's a Heidi Swap, maybe, or it could even be Saw Crafters has one that's very similar. So anyway, I once that was dried, I used some distress ink to change the color of the modeling paste. And I just did it in a sort of a very distressed look. I wanted the box to look a little bit distressed and older. And I used some of my, I got a really nice big roll of antique lace at a antique shop a couple of years ago now. And it is sort of a beige color, and so I use my Spectrum Noire pen, probably the BT3 maybe. I will write down below. I do below. And I will let you know what that was. Um, then I use the rosette trim to and cut that apart to create that little flower. In fact, what I did is I used it all the way around. I don't know if you can see, it's around the key, and then I glued it back together to hold the key here. And I also used the same lace, and I believe I got that from the Jewel box before Jules closed her shop. And I used that same lace here. I trimmed one of the flowers, and then I used that same lace around some of the flower trim here to go around the key again. And that key is one that was in my stash from Michael's. These are from the Secret Garden collection, the chipboard pieces. And then this, I believe, is from My Mind's Eye. I'd been hoarding that in my stash for a while, and it seemed to be appropriate to put it here. I did put a little bit of gesso, as you can see, on this just to change, to sort of soften the color of the little flower. Now, if we go to the side, I also gessoed the hardware for this. And I think you may be able to see the original color on the other side. So if you'll give me a second. Nope, I actually painted both sides. But I think if you look right here, you can see the color that it was originally. And I don't mind that. It's part of the look. And it came between the gesso and just using sort of almost a dry brush technique for the green here. I just use regular acrylic paint, folk art, or some such that I got at Joann's or Michael's. Let me see, what else can I tell you? I have the flat back trim, pearl trim, and then this is the paper from the Graphic 45 collection, and these are the Graphic 45 feet. I also gessoed these, and then I painted them in white, and then I just dry brush some green on it to give it a sort of a more vintagey kind of look. And then one of the things I did is, obviously, you know, I couldn't put this flat across, it just wouldn't have worked. So what I did is I adhered my trim on the corners, and then I pulled it down and I adhered it so that it would be in a kind of a sort of a soft V shape. This is just a flat back pearl embellishment that I use my Spectrum Noire pen on to turn it into the color I wanted. I think you can see it now. And then behind it is a gem that I got from Saw Crafter way back when, and you can't really tell just how shiny it is, but it is a really, really pretty shiny gem. And it's not going to zoom in for me. So anyway, on to the sides. Same thing on the sides. I used the lace up here, the flower trim, flat back pearls, and the graphic 45 paper. And again, same on the back. And then same on the other side. Now I think you can hear the clinking inside. That's because no project is complete without having an album in it. And so I created a mini album using the Tim Holtz album and the 3 rings bind, 2 ring. Is it 2 or is it 3? It's a 2 ring binder. And I attached the 2 together, and then I adhered this lace, and the lace goes all the way through, so you can, I adhered it before I put in my binder rings so that it's actually underneath the binder portion. And then I'm pretty sure this came from this, the top here with the pearl is just a spare parts from Hobby Lobby. And then this is, I think, Fairy Tales from, I bought that at Hobby Lobby as well. And I saved it for quite a while because I think it's really, really pretty. And I don't know if you can really see the dimension of that butterfly, but it is really pretty. And of course, I only buy it when it's on sale. So I waited till there was a sale, and I just bought another one. They still have them. And then these are flowers I got from Hobby Lobby as a big branch in the flower department. And I took it apart and I used the back. What they had as the back of the flower, I used in the front of the flower. And then I just used brads that had gems in the middle. And I colored this one. This was a clear gem. And I again used my Spectrum Noire pen to color this one. You can see that it's no longer clear. It's blue, even though because of the shiny. When it's shiny, my camera kind of has a hard time. And it's not, there we go. And then the background filigree, I believe, is from Butterbee Scraps. But I wouldn't swear to it. And I think these are from Wild Orchid Crafts. And I keep on finding fibers, despite having used my hot heat gun to try to get rid of all of those. And then I used the same technique that I had used. I adhered the paper to the binder, and I before I adhered it, I actually almost dry brushed it with gesso and a little bit of the sort of a green and blue paint that I put together, so I'd kind of get that same color I have here on the paper. And then you can see the dry brushing technique. See on the edge right here? That's dry brushing too. And I guess you can see it on the back, like it was black and I wanted it to look distressed and old. And so mostly this is almost dry brushed on. Then on the side, I have one of these. They look like a safety pin, but they're not a safety pin. They're a round clip. And I think I got that from Butterbee Scraps too. And this, and then this is another one of the flowers from that stem of flowers from Hobby Lobby. With this is actually bead cap that I opened up on the back, and then a rosette bead, and then just one of those, and I'll bring it closer in a second, This is just one of those pin that we use when we're doing stick pins, and I cut it up and I turned it into, I rounded it in the back so I could use it to put my safety clip in. And I obviously use my Spectrum Noire pen to turn this into a blue pin at the top. And I think you can see here. That's the bead cap, and then you have the shiny, glittery rosette here. Okay, and then I created a couple of, it's almost like a stick pin that I then cut off and curled to create a cap. And I used different beads that I had already put in my stash. And then I did a second one here. And then I'm pretty sure that this came from Butterbee Scraps as well. And I used one of the stamps from the Once Upon a Springtime collection and cut it up so that I could put a fairy in here. And I don't know. I'm going to try really hard to so you can see this better. There you go. And then if I can move it without it going crazy, I adhered a stamp on the back of it, and then I glossy accented the stamp like onto it, on top of it, on the side of it, and obviously also on this side I put glossy accent on here. Okay, I think that's almost it for the outside. Now let's see what we've got on the inside. Okay, and maybe if I'm going to try to bring my camera there. This is the outside of the book, and then we get in here, and I'm going to give this one away, and honestly, I cannot tell you who's going to be the lucky recipient yet. I haven't figured that out. But this is, I kept it fairly flat because I wanted people to be able to put a lot of stuff in. I just pretty much embellished the front more than anything else. So the rest of it is going to be pretty bland, really. Another one of the flowers, this is a button. I took the shank off. You'll notice that this paper is not as pink as it normally is. I used some distress ink on this one, and I believe it's the new one that Tim Holtz came out with, and Ranger came out with this year, either February or March color. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I did the same to the stamps. They're a lot bluer than they would normally be. You know, more of a blue-green than a bright pink as it was. And then I have this little thing here that opens up, and you can put pictures here and right here if you want to. And then I washi taped most of my pages, and really all I did was put paper in here so that whoever wants to do something can. More washi on the sides. And these are just the pockets that are sold to go with this book that I'd had in my stash for a little bit, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity to use this. And this is just covered chipboard, and again a piece. Here we have a little pocket. Actually, it's a fairly decent sized pocket, as you can see. Grow the Seeds of Friendship, and it is closed with a magnet. And you could close it on the top, which would leave Growing the Seeds of Friends, which is kind of weird, and it has a bunch of papers just so that somebody can put pictures and write and do whatever they want to do. And then this just tucks back in here and it automatically closes up. And then again, these are just little pockets. And then on this one, we have just a decoration just to break it up a little bit. This was just the back painted. More papers to just put in pictures, and then something to write on if you want to. And then this one is a mini pocket, and inside it are more some of the cards that come with the collection from one of the 12 by 12 papers. And all I did on here was put little tabs so that you can pull it out of here. And you can put pictures or journal on this, and just enjoy. And then this is actually the back of the book already. And I just created a nice little pocket in here that people can put more things in, or whoever gets it can put more things in. So basically that's it. It took a long time, but it's really quick to run through it. And I hope you'll have enjoyed this project. And please feel free to leave a comment. And thank you so much, as always, for taking the time out of your lives to watch a little piece of what I do with mine. Bye-bye. Have a great day.